Hello everyone, Broheen here from the Gamer Emporium channel, bringing you another class vid for the 91 Extreme RTs channel. We're going to cover some Chloromancer today. I think I'm going to wrap these two videos into one just because it's a little easier that way. And I don't really have much to go off because hardly anybody's online in my guild, and I don't have a lot of people to heal, so I don't feel like joining a rift and making this video like a mile long. So basically, Chloromancer, the spec I run might not be the ideal spec, but I think Warlock is probably going to be a better fit, and I still have yet to change it, but this can still teach you how to Chloro. So 61 Chloro, 5 in Harbinger for the extra 10% spell power from Eldritch Knowledge. The 10 in Dominator goes for Mental Fortitude, which doesn't really increase your range because Chloro already increases the range, but you get Acumen, which increases your intelligence by 10%. So I went for the max intelligence, max spell power, rather than using Warlock and getting the opportunity to maybe cast an extra Nature's Touch or a Vile Spores instant cast here or there. I could see this spec being really good for if I was going to be tank healing, but for raid healing, you would definitely want the Warlock version of it. So, and if you were going to spec Warlock with it, you would want to go 5 in Magical Affinity, 5 in Vitality, and 5 in Opportunity. So, therefore, basically lose the intelligence to gain more charge, gain more endurance, and gain a free cast. So, with that being said, on to the spec. Let's take a look at my macros. For Chloro, I have a stopcasting Vile Spores with a cast Void Life, because if I'm not casting the rest of this macro with Corrosive Spores in it, let's see, if I'm not casting the one with Corrosive Spores, Ruin, and Vile Spores in it, then pretty much I'm casting Void Life if I'm tank healing. So, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to be doing raid healing, and I'll explain the difference between the two different veils and what synthesis does. So, but we'll get to that in a moment. So, regardless of the spec, this is your main spam, and Void Life is your main ability when you're tank healing. It can be used when you're raid healing too, it's just not quite as effective. The Nature's Touch macro is your pretty much your big heal. Every 5 Vile Spores or every 2 Nature's Touches, you can cast a free Nature's Touch. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else do I have here? There's a cleansing macro for Cleansing Rush, which doesn't really... Nope, I took that out of there. We won't talk about that. Wild Growth has a shout. I have a single target mouse over healing macro for in case I have to save somebody specific. I have a big heal mouse over macro. I have a symbiosis mouse over macro. Here's that single target cleanse macro. This works so that way you don't actually have to point at somebody on the raid frames. You can just spam the button. It'll cleanse group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. So works out good. So it's a lot less hassle. Let's see, what else? There's a lot of shit here. Radiant Spores and Withering Vines, you want to keep this up non-stop. Keep both of them up non-stop. And Synthesis is mouse over in case I have to swap heals, swap single target heals on somebody. So, the buffs, you're going to use Living Energy toggled, Living Aegis, Lightning Charge, and I've got 2 different trinkets, one for AoE heal, one for single target. And then there's Life-Giving Veil over here. Let's talk about the veils for a minute. So Life-Bound Veil is single target, Life-Giving Veil is raid. Life-Bound Veil is applied when you cast Synthesis onto a target, so there's no need to have it on the bar, you just have to have Synthesis on the bar. It's easier to not get the two mixed up and cast the wrong one. So again, raid healing, use Life-Giving, single target, put Synthesis on the tank. That's it pretty much for the veils. Entropic Veil is a charge consumer and does extra damage and extra healing while it's active. Consumes your charge while active. Basically, it's pretty situational. It's pretty straightforward, but it's situational for Chloro healing. You just main spam and void life, main spam, void life, main spam, void life, and an occasional nature's touch for tank healing. For raid healing, you typically don't even touch void life. You just main spam, main spam, main spam, hard cast Vile Spores over and over, and then do a nature's touch when you get the proc. And keep up your Radiant Spores at all times. Nature's Fury is only good when there's big mobs. The cooldown spells that you have, aside from Wild Growth, Symbiosis, 45 seconds, it pretty much doubles the healing on the target of the synthesis, or will increase healing done during raid healing to one target by 50%. You got your big heal, which is 100% of the mage's max health in a heal. You have Natural Splendor, which is only good. It's huge. It's gigantic heals if there's a lot of enemies. So if you get 8 enemies in front of you, you need big heals. Throw this out there. Absolutely nothing is gonna die. So it's it's awesome. So I keep a cleanse on the bar. Actually, I keep 2. I got Shift 4 and the regular 4 button, and that's about it for Chloro. Natural Conversion's kind of cool. Cause next damaging spell cast by the enemy to heal their target for 200%. That does work on Cruce's Breath, by the way, which is pretty sweet. So imagine that heal 200%. So, alright, so I'm going to run with the buffs, I'm going to run with AoE, and I'm going to put on my Life-Giving Veil. Now, Veils don't stack with other Chloros, so if you have 2 raid healing Chloros, it's not good because only one of you is going to heal. Alright, so we're going to start off. Radiant Spores does not generate threat. That's this little fluttery thing over his head. Then hit him with a Withering Vine. And start attacking. Main spam. So you can use Void Life, or you can Vile Spore. You can see the heals coming off over here. And you can see the damage done up here. So it's pretty much just making sure I stay self-healed, honestly. It's decent DPS. And when you're at 5 stacks of Boon of Life, you can hit your Nature's Touch macro, and there it goes. It's free. Alright, so if there is anything else you need to know about this video, there's absolutely no changes to this spec since the other patches, since I last put out a video on his channel for. There's no changes at all to it. So there's not really much to really explain. It was more or less just a recap of the utility and how it works and what things do. So hopefully this is a good refresher to those of you that want to get back into Chloro healing, or I hope this helps enough to understand and figure out how to Chloro heal if you're new to Chloro healing. So either way, good luck. I will be around to answer comments and questions. I'll be hanging around on 91 Extreme's channel here and there, kind of creeping the comment board a little bit, looking for stuff for me to reply to, or you can hit me up at my channel, which is youtube.com/thegamersemporium. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy Chloro healing. Have a nice night.